Night and day. Let's bring in Keesha Middlemass, Associate Professor of Political Science at Howard University. She is in D.C. for us. What do you think, Keesha? Night and day?
Night and day. Completely different response by the police to who was actually invading the D.C. Capitol. The idea of domestic terrorism needs to be attached to these individuals, and based on the help from it seemed to be based on pictures and video that they were helped by the police. This was not something that was unexpected, but the police response was totally different from what Black Lives Matter protesters and marchers experienced earlier.
Yeah, we were getting ready for the this program today in the newsroom, and that was the first question that we were asking of many, by the way. How did they get in to the U.S. Capitol? How could folks not see this coming? How was this able to get as far as it did? That aside, let's talk about Twitter temporarily suspending President Donald Trump's Twitter account. He apparently, though, did acknowledge his defeat. Do you think we're going to hear more from Trump?
Yes, we will always hear more from Trump. I think what's also important is that the social media and technology companies have a role when the elected officials are inciting violence, that they should suspend elected officials' accounts, regardless of their First Amendment rights. We now see this violent rhetoric actually come into fruition. So it should not be surprising that this took place, but now it is needed that others outside of Twitter, but also Facebook, Instagram, that hold elected officials accountable when they are inciting people to fight.
Okay, we did have the president yesterday say, look, folks, go home. We want to be peaceful about this. Again, perhaps a bit too late for that message. We are expecting, we're on Twitter watch, right? We're on tweet watch, expecting the president to get back on Twitter. If indeed he does, Keesha, what do you want to see from the president in his final days as the leader of your country?
I would like him to accept reality. Yes, last night he accepted that there will be a peaceful transition on January 20th, but I would really like to see him disavow this idea of a rigged election, or that the election was stolen from him, or that it was a fraudulent election and that Biden-Harris ticket is a fraudulent administration. I say hope. I don't expect that to happen because that is just not in Trump's character.
Right.
But I do hope that people around him, and also then elected members, particularly on the Republican side, stop spreading disinformation and start being factual and living in reality versus pushing misinformation and conspiracy theories.
Keesha, before I let you go, Trump's leaving, Biden's coming in. Biden's been in D.C., as you know, in many forms, in many roles for decades, I understand. A lot of problems with respect to police brutality against the Black community south of the border. This predates Trump, let's be fair. What needs to change moving forward when Biden takes over?
Two key things. If once Merrick Garland, his nominee, Biden's nominee for the U.S. Attorney General, I think the Department of Justice needs to start using its power of decrees to actually get police to change how they police communities of color. That the Department of Justice must use its power. The second one is to signal that Black lives actually do matter and make that a common goal in all policies.
There you go. That message, we'll see how far that gets in these next 4 years, right? A lot of folks are just praying to see some movement, some positive movement in that regard. Keesha Middlemass in D.C., thank you for this, madam.
Thank you.